everyone, Achikah here, and it's Monday, so I have a very special base tour for you guys. Extremely special base tour because it is an extra life incentive, actually. If you guys didn't know, over on my extra life page, I had an incentive where for a donation you could get a custom-made DCUO decorated base on the USPCPS server. It was going to be a hideout theme base, so space, volcano, or dive theme. And Frostwing took up the call and donated right away at the beginning of my campaign for this incentive. So thank you so much, Frostwing. It is extremely generous of you to donate. I did not know if anybody was going to take me up on this offer because it's kind of an unorthodox incentive, and it's a weird thing because the base is on one of my characters, since DCUO doesn't play nicely with the deco system to where I could make it on somebody else's character. But yeah, it's a base that's on one of my characters, but we collabed back and forth and envisioned this really cool base, which is a homeworld base for their character. Yeah, I don't know, it was a really fun time to collab. I'd already done the Panda Pad for Pandaville, which was a really cool collaboration, but this one was a lot more back and forth, and we incorporated his origin story in with the base, and then it switched up, so the theme, or like the theme, is actually ancient. It was supposed to be a hideout theme, so a smaller base. But as we went on and we kind of I knew we meshed well and we kind of had like the same envision for a base, the ancient theme was perfect for Themyscira, so we decided to go with that one in the long run. But yeah, so it's their home world base, which is Themyscira. As you can see, this is Frostwing behind me. This is their character Alpha in their armory. We're actually in their home base, which is their modern, their everyday DCUO base, so they've incorporated the technological world into things and have this like watchtower orbital outpost here, but they also have very Themysciran roots, as you can see with the banners and some of the architecture around the base. But their character is actually extremely homesick for Themyscira and misses their home world a whole lot. And in this timeline, where they come from, Hippolyta had a son, which is Frostwing here, who is a warrior of Athena, or the chosen warrior of Athena, I should say, which is also a running theme throughout the base. As you can see, the Queen Diana emblem on his chest, so that's going to be frequented in the base as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Why don't we just get into the base and I can talk about it more as we do so. So, without further ado, why don't we go check out Frostwing's and mine's collaborative base entitled Arcadian Anamnesis. Alright, so if you guys didn't know, Anamnesis actually means remembering something from a previous existence. So we thought that would be kind of a, you know how I like alliteration with my base names, and yeah, there it is. It just worked out really well because it's from a different multiverse, a different reimagining, and also just remembering a life past, which is what their existence at Themyscira is to them currently. So, alright, so we are at a garrison here at the beginning of the base. Oh, you know what? I don't think I should enter without being dressed in the proper Themysciran garbs here. Bring this back from Elysian glory, this Amazonian outfit. So we will enter the gate here to a vernal garden. Yeah, so we had a garrison set up first. So when we first imagined the base, Frostwing knew that they wanted a lot of cherry blossoms and a lot of vernal stuff meshing with a Grecian theme. And immediately what came to my mind were the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. So like a really cool mesh of like old world architecture and columns and stuff, but like infused with nature rather than like, you know, taking over nature. So it was like a give and take of both. So that was kind of where the inspiration came from. I showed Frostwing a few pictures and he was like, yes, that's exactly what I thought too. And I was like, yes. So that was really cool. And so there were two aspects. One was supposed to be where we enter from the character's bedroom, which is one aspect. He really wanted the base, his character, to have their own like apartment or bedroom, or to enter from this garrison like outpost with the garden being close by, and we chose option number 2. So as you see, we entered through the Minotaur Gate, which is a reoccurring theme. This is one of Frostwing's favorite pieces of furniture in the game. And we have the counterweight to open up this very large stone and iron gate, as well as a garrison outpost here for our guard to open said gate once you enter. So you can see the mechanism to pull the counterweight there. Yeah, and that's about it. And of course, Hippolyta will be throughout too. Frostwing's mom in this reality, so there'll be a lot of Hippolyta statues as well as a lot of Queen Diana symbols too, because that's Frostwing's emblem of choice, so that'll be a reoccurring theme throughout. So okay, so we have the garrison first, and then we come into this luscious garden. A lot of planters, lots of cherry blossoms per Frostwing's request. We have a little stream here and pond. I like how, I don't know how like the depth of field worked on this, but it looks a lot like this little like keyhole like looks a lot deeper than, you know, just an alcove. I don't know why. Like it's like almost like some kind of weird perspective thing, but I don't know. I think it looks, I like how it looked. It turned out pretty nice. And then on this side over here, we have some more planters, and then we also have an overlook to some more of the kingdom that's in the background here. Sitting area and a more lush vernal landscape, some grass here, and you know, and then another keyhole over here too to see out into more of Themyscira in the background. And as we go up these rocky staircases here, we're going to shift away from the garden aspect to the commerce plaza, as well as the living quarters too, as well. It's kind of like the town. So you go through the garrison, through this nice lush park area, and then we're in town. So our first stop in town is a Themysciran coffee shop, which I thought was just kind of a cute idea. This actually switched from a few different storefronts before I settled on a coffee shop, or before we both settled on a coffee shop, because Frostwing approved this one over the other few, which you will see one of them. I'm actually making a whole base based off of what this store used to be, and no spoilers, but you know, it hopefully it turns out pretty cool. So I'll let you guys know in the future which base it is. We have some coins on the counter to give us, you know, tip our barista properly. And since it's Themyscira, no coffee makers, we have a open flame hearth and some very meager tools to, you know, make our coffees and cappuccinos. Yeah, a couple tables here to sit and enjoy while you get your coffee, or you can go to the park and sit too. All right, statue of Hera here, overlooking everything. And now we're going to enter the cobblestone part of the Commerce District, which this was one of the stipulations of Frostwing's base, or one of the things that he really wanted to convey was to have a cobblestone pathed area in their base, which is kind of hard to come by because St. Patrick's Day does not yield too many marks. But lucky for me, I run that seasonal with way too many alts. I had a good stockpile, so request granted. So our first stop here is just a bookstore. This was kind of modeled off of Back Alley Bewitchery's bookstore, if you guys remember that. Except I used a couple of these black chroma backdrops from Valentine's Day to make the store look a little more in-depth in the background, which is kind of cool, I think. But yeah. Oh, you'll see another one up here further. But yeah, this is the bookstore. Of course, lots of Grecian murals everywhere and a bunch of stone inlays. And we have some storage on the street, of course, because it's kind of like an agora. So it's a very open marketplace. Lots of people selling things on the street. And here's another one of those black chroma backdrops, which I think looks cool. I was going to make this another storefront window, but I ended up leaving it open because I love how it looks like you can just enter here. And really, it's just a wall. So I thought that was a cool use of the item, and also just a weird depth of field, like illusion kind of thing there. So yeah, we have a fish vendor stall here, of course. Some more housing complexes here, but before we get into that, I want to come over here where we have our shrine to Hippolyta. Or not shrine, but I guess just a nice tribute to Hippolyta, as well as some very tall cherry blossom trees and some more vernal stuff, again incorporating all the greenery in with the cityscape rather than it being just by itself. Up top we have an aqueduct, which I think is super cool. So we have our well here to gather water for all the Amazons here in the city. And the aqueduct runs atop with fresh water. And yeah, comes out of the lion's mouth. Have a quaint home here. Just kind of built up with different odds and ends. And I use some of the stepping stones as a border for the cobblestone. You can see some of them still glitch out in a few areas. I tried my best not to overlap as carefully as possible. This was like the most mind-numbing Tetris game of all time to make sure that these things don't glitch out, because there are very pixel-perfect clips you can do to make them do that, or to space them properly and use other items underneath to kind of mask it. I used thin, elegant rugs to kind of match the brick. You can see them in certain spots, certain holes in the ground where they were utilized to mask that. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice overall. The stone daises worked out too to help with that, as did, of course, the Grecian octagons. So yeah. Alright, so again we have a housing complex here for some Amazonians. Lots of vaulting, again lots of Queen Diana emblems. And just some houses, some doors to different varying houses and apartments, both up top and down low. The aqueduct, again, running up top on this side. We'll get a better view from the staircase. And here we have a little keyhole down to a different district of the market we'll get to soon. You see the Grecian mural across the way. And some cherry blossoms and planters. So, yeah. I thought this was just a nice to kind of open it up. You could see down to the lower bowels of the district. Alright, so let's ascend the staircase, and we can see Frostwing's apartment. Here's another view from up top here. And you can see the Queen Diana emblem across the way too. So, we have a walkway up top that leads us to these windows where we can peer into this apartment complex. Or this apartment building, I guess, which is going to be Frostwing's home here in Themyscira. And yeah, this is it. This was one of the starting places, because you guys know me. I loved making my little cozy loft lived-in apartment areas. The best, so much so I did a based off of that. So our first stop will be the sitting area and library. So we have a fireplace here with plenty of firewood to get a fire going, lots of books to read, a chase to lay down on. And here we have the kitchen. So again, another open hearth since it's the Themyscira. So this would be like the oven. We got a stew boiling there. I could not believe how awesome the palace urns and the Gorgon like flame pots like work together. They had to have been made to go together because that's kind of crazy. I love it. Oh man. So we have that prep table, an ingredient table here, as well as firewood below to make sure the hearth stays lit. Keep that stew boiling for hours on end. And we come over here. On the opposite side of the kitchen, we have a little kitchenette nook. So you can get some food. You know, just very quaint. Just a nice little table. You can serve the food over past that if you want to, or you can bring it around and have a seat. A work desk here, so you can write, keep memoirs, notes, battle logs, all that good stuff. And back here we have the master bedroom. Just a quaint armoire and a bed. And again, the Minotaur Gate, because like I said, that and the Grecian mural are two of Frostwing's favorite thing, and Cherry Blossoms too. Their favorite pieces of furniture. So I tried to incorporate them as much as possible. And I used these hanging lanterns for a lot of the lighting in here, which I love these things. These are my favorite things. It's Halloween still. You guys have time to get a few of these, but they give off like this warm glow to them that is just, look at that. That's beautiful. I love that. Like, it just really brightens. Like, this whole area is very dense because of the curtains and the doors and all the pillars that are here. But those little lights just brighten it up, and it's so nice. It's almost like a spotlight, but a bit more, like, gentle. It's like a warm glow. I love these things so much. And they kind of have that, like, old school, like, you know, archaic, like, Victorian or Themysciran in this case, like, vibe, because they're candles. And the last part of the apartment is the bathroom. So let's go take a look inside here. So we have a vanity here, a Themysciran vanity. Not to be mistaken with the cool ones we just got for Justice League Dark Cursed, which are incredible. However, it didn't really fit the theme here. And also, I saw somebody in a base tour. I can't remember the base. I'll try and link it up above if I can find it before the showcase comes out. If not, please leave me a message. But somebody used the Sunstone window as a mirror, and I thought it was just so ingenious in a bathroom. I was like, that's perfect. Like, since we didn't have any mirrors in the game, now we do with the vanity. But since we didn't, I just thought it was a really creative use of it, and also the stone inlay with it in tiles like just worked really well, as the little bronzed Atlantean sigil in the background to give it that kind of like bronzed archaic look. I thought was really cool. So yeah, sitting area again, more minotaurs everywhere, and yeah, no sink because I thought a sink would be a bit too modern for Themyscira, because I kind of think of it like as in like ancient Greece or like medieval times. So yeah, there is probably, I'm sure there's some kind of running water, but instead we have an open shower you could just wash your hands in whenever, since it's literally a waterfall that pours into the drain here. We have some oils on this counter so you could take a shower here, and behind we have the toilet. So it's a 1-2 shop. 1-2 shop stop. Yeah, so that's the bathroom area, and that is Frostwing's apartment. All right, so I think that is the upper tier complete. Let's go downstairs. And I think we will, yeah, we're gonna head all the way down to the basement now. So as we go down, we see the Grecian murals. There was one over there, and here too, and then another tribute to Hippolyta. Lots of Hippolyta statues everywhere. And this was another thing Frostwing really wanted in the base, of course, is a temple of Athena. Of course, for Athena's chosen warrior, How could we not have one? So Frostwing actually mocked up a lot of this shrine to Athena, and I just built the temple around it. So we had the keyhole up top that you could see out to the cherry blossom planters up top, and as we look up, we see that there are Athena statues there to kind of go with her temple, as well as some fighting warriors around her, some Hippolyta effigies too. And I really, really wanted to put the Athena shrine right on the like above the staircase, so it felt a bit more weighted. So like since we're down low and it's up high, it felt like it had as much height as the effigies do. But since the Grecian statues came up before the effigies, the Athena statue is actually kind of small. But because you kind of have this build up, this like hallway of pillars and sigils everywhere in flames, it kind of gives it like a bit more of a grandiose feel, as if she's, you know, commanding your attention to come hither and worship her. So yeah, again, more greenery, lots of drapery, lots of flames. Frostwing actually mocked up this the Gorgon flames, as well as the altar and the statue. And I just kind of did the Minotaur gate and the rock and the, you know, all this kind of the temple stuff around it. So, of course we're here, so we should probably bow. Almighty Athena. All right. So, we'll go further into the district, and we have one more major stop to make, which is actually kind of like 3 stops all in one, but I'll show you what I mean. So again, more storage here for what we have ahead, which is the Armory, the Sparring area, and the Quartermaster Forge. So let's go in the Armory first. So this is the outside of it. Here we enter, and we have an armory. Just lots of weapons you could choose from. Some, of course, statuary and art that go with the whole battle motif. The shield, too, I thought on the counter was kind of cool. Like, you know, if you wanted to have a shield. Well, I guess there is a little buckler there. You know, you could have, but... Or you could have this huge shield. That's a mighty Amazon shield, actually. That's pretty big now that I'm thinking about it. So the counter here, you can order custom weapons, or you can grab something that's on the shelf here. And if we go to the back, we have the Quartermaster and their forge, their armor, or I guess the armorer too. Quartermaster, armorer, forge, master. So we have the forge, of course, as well as, like, you know, an anvil, some tools to get the job done, and to make molds and stuff, or to pour and do stuff here, you know, like hammer out the details, literally. Yeah, so we have a little smelting rig here. You can, like, you know, crank the chain, pour the bucket, all that good stuff. And this is a window for the Quartermaster to give out items for the sparring area, which are seen here, like training weapons, you know. Which I guess we will go get into next. So that is the Armory and the Forge. And we'll check out our last stop of the tour, which is the sparring area. Ta-da! Lots of Amazonian battlers here with statues around. So we have our Quartermaster window, where you can get your weapons for sparring, to either do on the dummies or in our sparring ring. I borrowed the idea of a consecrated ground battlefield, like I had in Arcane Athenium, my mage school, which I thought it's kind of cool, so that people can fight it out, and if they get harmed, you know, they have some consecrated ground to heal their injuries and make them not so graven. Tools for each of the combatants, you know, like water buckets, weights, you know, stuff like that, and then a bench, so people can watch or wait for their turn to spar. And you can see the shrine of Athena on the opposite side, which I thought was cool, since she's a goddess of wisdom, but she's also a goddess of war too, technically, by all things. So you can, I feel like she needed a little bit of a window into the sparring arena. Some targets and punching bags and stuff like that to hone your skills or your aim, all that good stuff. And then if you need a break, we have a sitting area here, as well as a soothsayer pond to get some water. Refresh yourself, hydrate, get all healed up, and all that good stuff. And then we have a door to, just different parts of the air. Probably like kind of like a gladiator coliseum kind of thing, right? Like one of those doors is what I was going for. So to enter back there. But with that, I think that is Arcadian Anamnesis. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you so much for watching, and an extremely huge thank you to Frostwing so much for your donation. Like, that was incredible. I really didn't know if anybody would take that donation. But I really appreciate that you did it, and also that this was a very fun experience to collaborate with you. So thank you for all that. It was just, not only was it like just for charity and a great cause and all that, but it was just a really fun experience too on top of all that. So it was just a net plus all around. So thank you again so much to Frostwing for making this possible, and thank you guys so much for watching. Base Off stream probably just happened not too long ago. The VODs are probably up on the channel if you missed them. And yeah, I don't really know. I think that's the only announcement. Be on the lookout for Friday for the Base Off winners. I'm going to keep doing Extra Life, I think, till the end of the year. So if anybody else wants to do a custom base, which I know is a lot to ask for, but if you do, it's still up on the on my instances, as well as base tours on Monday and and art and other things like that. So check out the Extra Life page. Games Day is going to be the 4th. I know DCUO official stream is going to be on the 3rd, I think, or I can't remember when it's going to be. I think it's going to be on the 3rd though. Maybe it's going to, no, I think it's going to be on the 4th actually. So but either way, check the announcements in the forums. Don't listen to me for that kind of news. So yeah, so thank you again so much to Frostwing and Extra Life for doing what they do and helping raise funds for children's hospitals. I think it's a really great cause, and yeah, thank you, Frostwing, for your donation towards that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.